is just playing the Centaur Warrunner. Stoic does like to play aggressive support, so we'll see. Or rather, most of their dominant performances have come at the back of Stoic and GZ playing aggressive supports. And sure, the Willow is able to do that, but the Treant is mostly for the early part of the game a defensive support. So we'll see how exactly Carstensz adjusted and adapted that. But one thing that I would like to point out is that you are playing a Phantom Lancer, and while you're great against a Drow Ranger, especially when you get that Manta style, you're not that good against that Timber Saw. He is the AoE damage is simply going to be too much for the Phantom Lancer. Now maybe once the Phantom Lancer hits critical mass, that's when the dynamic shifts in favor of the PL, like how it goes for most carries. And it's just a question of how big can you get in what kind of timeline, right? Or what kind of timeline are you looking at to be able to get big? Because at that point, everyone else is still a very achievable kill. I would say is a very easy kill for this PL, including that Tombstone from the Undying, including the Undying himself, the Keeper of the Light, the Wind Ranger, the Drow Ranger. They're all easy targets to deal with. But until you have some serious damage coming out, some serious survivability coming out for this Phantom Lancer, you won't be able to take out that Timber. And not to mention, it is a core Keeper of the Light, right? It's in the hands of Mute. And so, I mean, he's played the Keeper of the Light before. This is something that Carstensz will have to be wary of. The Carstensz will have to be careful about how they play against Mute. Because again, that 500 damage Illuminate will kind of just take out your Phantom Lancer for the should be okay. In your backside to deal with as Emptiness misses a hoof stomp. I'm not that one wasn't even close. I'm not really sure what just happened there. As I realized I was missing my pop filter, but now I have that too. I have added in, so now everything is good and ready. Again, what happened yesterday was very interesting. I had no internet, and I had to actually move my entire PC towards the other part of my house. Just shift the monitor, shift the PC, shift all of the wires, and I had to do that for the cost itself. And so and then I had to bring everything back when the day was done, right? So I did not. I mean, of course, I tried to adjust for everything, but it was, interesting to be having to do that. Carstensz do find, or rather, Azteca find themselves a return kill. I believe they took down Jay-Z. Kui was able to get that kill, so not that bad of a response coming in by Azteca. And again, the Drow Ranger right click damage proving to be a bit too much. Kui does get caught, and Stoic comes in from that back line, finds that stun, and now they have 3 heroes to take down Loisei with. Carstensz rip apart Azteca on their own safe lane, and this is pretty much how the Treant Protector can play. Phantom Lancer, sure, while you leave him alone, Lenny is going to have a very awkward time. But taking out the Drow Ranger, I think that's going to be worth it for, for their team. Lenny can just hang back, soak up that experience, While the Treant Protector and GZ Emptiness, all of them, they can just continue to roll down the Drow Ranger. At the same time, Emptiness, he took the creep aggro. And that will mean Kui will end up with 2 kills. In fact, they might just give Kui another. So Carstensz, they bungle that one massively. Emptiness taking in the tower right-click damage and taking in the tower aggro. That is a big mistake. You do not want to be doing that, and you don't want to be giving this Drow 488 gold just for free, just for sticking around in his own lane. The earlier kills on the Drow, they do not matter now, because you just give away so darn much. And I mean that's scary. That is definitely going to be really scary. Level 4 Drow at the 4-minute mark is no joke. Now you have the level 2 Frost Arrows. Now you have the level 2 multi-shot. Meanwhile, your own core Emptiness is about to hit his level 4. Right, so they can still bring it back. Of course they can. We're only 4.5 or to 5 minutes in, but you do have to be careful with GZ not having his level 3. Now he does, but I mean, Loisy is level 3 as well. The level 2 Decay is going to be coming in. And I will add, since Nelsilu is asking, is Azteca good? Azteca are good. Azteca are definitely a team that I can say might be able to take a few wins off of the other teams in the tournament. But Carstensz are the heavy favorites in this series. They, in my opinion, right? This is just my opinion. But I have been costing Carstensz, or rather, actually both, right? I've been costing both the organization Carstensz with their different rosters, and I've been costing these current players that are competing under the Carstensz banner. I'm costing them in their European runs, and they are a formidable roster. They are a very formidable team, but you also have to consider that they are playing with ping. It's not exactly Krish is going to be representing Carstensz in the entire tournament here. Kui actually went down. That was a great pickup. And interestingly, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with me, I am taking my team to the Esports Nations Cup. We qualified. I actually recommended Krish for Carstensz. I recommended 2 players, so I guess it worked out with Krish, and I'm happy for that. I genuinely think Krish is pretty good as both a core, a mid player and a carry player. And my recommendation was based off of, just costing Krish quite often, as well as, quite frankly, my team playing against Krish in the qualifiers. Loisy, he has seemingly walked himself into trouble. He will simply go down, but for Loisy, that's a free teleport, right? You have the Ceaseless Dirge, you go in, you die, you go back